Welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about some secrets that'll help your meditation, things that you might not hear anywhere else. And I'm going to put them all together. We're going to have 5 of them. So let's get into it. So the first one is very simple, but very, very powerful. See, you have 2 carotid sinuses right here in the neck. So you got one right here, you got one right here, and if you feel those, you can feel your pulse going through them. And what's in there is a little pressure valve. And so when your heart rate gets too high, the valve here where the blood passes through, it sends a signal to the medulla, and the medulla sends a signal to the heart. Hey, things are going too fast. We better slow this down. See, because your blood pressure and your heart rate are in a inverse relationship. So as your pressure goes up, your heart rate needs to go down, and as your heart rate goes up, your pressure has to go down. And it works that way in your body to try and keep equilibrium and balance so you don't blow a gasket. You understand? So that's why you have these pressure valves right here. So a great way to begin your meditation for a minute or say 2 minutes is to do the neck locks. It's very simple. You just go like this. So you want to keep your spine straight, and you want to put your chin as far as is comfortable. If you can only go down so far, that's fine. But you don't want to slouch and put your head down. You just want to stay erect and put your chin to your chest or as close as is comfortable for you. And just hold that position. You can put your eyes into Shambhavi Mudra, which means put your eyes up here. Just look up there gently. Everything is gently in yoga. And that's it. That's a neck lock. It's very, very powerful because it's increasing the pressure on this valve, this pressure valve right here, carotid sinus. And that's sending a signal to the heart, to the medulla, and the medulla is sending a signal to the heart. Hey, let's slow the heart rate down a little bit. So it's not a massive, it's just a little bit, but it's enough to make a huge qualitative difference in your meditation for the next 20 minutes at least. And then your meditation itself will take you deeper. So I always begin my meditations with a neck lock, and that's actually part of Lahiri Mahasaya's prescription for meditation. So he has a recipe, and when you follow the whole recipe, you get a cake. That's the idea anyway. So the next trick is to dilate your eyes. And so while you're looking up at the spiritual eye, you think that you're supposed to focus like this. And so you have this left brain understanding of concentration. I'm going to concentrate my way into deep meditation. It's wrong. That's not it. That's left brain. And so we want to dilate the eyes while we look at one point. And you can practice this with open eyes. So you pick a dot in front of you, and while you're looking at that one dot, you expand your vision and become aware of the wall on your left and the wall on your right, or whatever's to your left and to your right, as far as you can see, opening up your peripheral vision. And if you watch somebody, you can see their eyes dilate as they do this. Okay, so how do you know your eyes are dilated? Well, I can see my peripheral vision here and my peripheral vision here. So that's how I know if my eyes are dilated. Shamanic Hawaiian masters, the kahuna, would practice this all day. So you can use this as a walking meditation as well. So you're walking around, maybe not when you're driving or using heavy machinery, okay? But as you're walking around, just notice everything on your left and your right. So you can be focused, and at the same time, you can expand your peripheral vision and dilate your eyes. And it will automatically put you in touch with the spatial perception and the right brain, the right hippocampus specifically. So that's very powerful. And when you look at one point long enough, it just happens automatically. So where is this in yoga? It's there. You just stare at something long enough and it just happens. But now we have a language for it. We have a program for it. and you can implement it very quickly because you understand it. And isn't that beautiful? So the third secret, heart rate variability. So when you do everything correctly in meditation, your heart rate is going to go down, and your breathing and your heart rate are going to come into sync, okay? And so as you breathe in, the heart rate will slightly elevate, and as you breathe out, nice and gently, the heart rate will go down. So now you've got this variability to the heart rate, and you're not just stressed out all the time, you know? That doesn't have any variance, and we want the heart rate variability. So I have a lot of videos on heart rate variability. The clinical mindfulness that I teach on this channel very specifically teaches you how to get into a very deep heart rate variability. So that's a really important thing, and the key to that is to lower your breath rate. Lowering your breath rate will get you into heart rate variability automatically. So check out those videos if you want to hear more about heart rate variability. I've got a whole sequence of videos on it. It's a very important subject, and it's a big, big secret. If you're interested in seeing spiritual light in the spiritual eye, if you're interested in having any kind of perception or experience inside meditation, you don't have to see light, by the way. It's not necessary. Feeling whatever you feel inside of your body as the energy shifts and moves and changes, feeling that movement is more important than seeing, I gotta see the light. So don't be like that. You don't have to see the light, okay? Don't stress yourself out about it. It's not, if you don't see it, so what? Just feel whatever you feel. But the beginning of having internal perception is heart rate variability. That's a huge stepping stone. And once you step on that, you're going to have more and more internal perception. So the fourth secret is the breath states. Because if you learn about the breath states, I have a video on this. If you learn about the breath states, it's a roadmap. And the Greeks always said that meditation and also the subconscious mind are like two vast oceans. You've got the superconscious ocean on one side, and you've got the subconscious ocean on the other side, according to the Greeks. And they're just massive oceans of the unknown. And it's kind of this feeling of uncharted and untrackable. And so anything in meditation which can serve as a roadmap will make a lot more sense to your logical brain and give you something to hold on to while you try and traverse that vast ocean. So the breath states are amazing because you don't need to see light. You don't need to hear sound. Those are great things, but if they're not happening, are you out of luck in meditation? Of course not, because I've given you the breath states, and they're amazing. All you have to do is follow the sensations inside you have to clean it out a little first before you sit to meditate. Just follow those sensations, whatever you feel through the nasal passage from here to the tip of the nose. That's where all the sensations take place, very simply. Now, some people only feel the last breath state, and that's when the nostrils, it's actually the turbinates inside the nose. Metaphysic explanation is it's the Ida and the Pingala coming into balance. And when those two come into balance, we get closer and closer to the primary channel in the spine called the Sushumna, which is neutral. Okay, so you have positive and negative and then neutral. And we're trying to get closer and closer to neutral, to the Sushumna. And as that takes place, the Ida and Pingala affect the turbinates in the nose. And as that happens, it's like a sequence of locks, like the Panama Canal. It's a sequence of locks, and at the end, it just opens right up. It's just huge. And you will feel that because it's probably the strongest one to feel. But let's go through all of them really quick. I have a whole video on this if you want to see that. So the first feeling, sensation, the air is just kind of generally in the center of the nose. It's not a specific feeling. So that's first one. Then we progress, do your meditation, whatever your technique is, and then notice the breath in as it passes through the sinus passage. Again, has it moved? Has it moved? Yes, great, wonderful. I had a shift. I did meditation and it did this to me. Holy cow, that is powerful. My meditation created a psychophysiological shift in my body. Holy mackerel. Okay, so that just noticing a shift, anything at all, is huge. So pat yourself on the back. Good job. I did it in meditation. I am getting a hold of this whole meditation thing. That's good. Okay, and then notice where it is. Well, it might be at the tip of the nose. So the air, as it passes through the sinus passage, may affect most pointedly the tip of the nose. That's the second one. Third one, it will jump from the tip all the way to the top of the nose, right here at the top of the bridge. So way, way up here. So that's a big shift from here to here. Boom, big shift. So that's the third one. The fourth one, the air will suddenly pass on the sides of the nose, right where my glasses are resting on my nose, on the sides, inside the nasal passage, of course, not externally. And then finally, the last one, the turbinates all retract, and the air, as it passes through the sinus passage, is completely open. And that's the big one. That's the one that most people really notice. And that means you've made it all the way through the breath states. That's huge. You're in a very, very relaxed, deep meditation. Congratulations. Let yourself sink into that. Enjoy the feeling of relaxation. Enjoy the resting of your heart rate. Your heart rate is going to be down a little bit. Your breath rate is going to be down a little bit. And just enjoy that. Feel the positive results of what you've worked for. And the last secret I want to share with you is Khechari Mudra. So that is putting the tongue up into the nasal pharynx. This is a big one, and so I saved it for last. It's not easy to get the, well, for some people it actually is. For some people they try the first time and bam, they get it. But for me, it took me years and years. And I didn't have anybody giving me a step-by-step progression. So it took me a very long time. So if it takes you a long time, so what? If you're into this yoga thing and you're into meditation, so what if it takes years? If it takes years, it takes years. So does a college degree. It takes years because it's worth working for. Whatever we're after, it's probably worth working for. And that's okay. It's okay to take time. Be patient with yourself. It's not necessarily going to happen overnight. So give it a lot of time, and you can stretch your tongue anytime. Just push with your 2 fingers, push the tongue, and stretch the connective tissue under the tongue. But getting Khechari Mudra will help you to stimulate the deep brain. When you get it up and it touches the sphenoid sinus inside the nasal passage, that stimulates the pituitary gland, which in turn stimulates the pineal gland. And that's a big deal. Big secret to meditation. And that's a long one, that last one, but it's a good one. It's a very good one. But if you don't want to work that long, just take the tongue and touch the roof of the mouth, and that's enough. But if you want the full-blown Khechari Mudra, I have a video on that, and you should check it out. I think I have 3 videos. One is on how to do it, one is on understanding what's inside the nasal pharynx, and the last one is on a Khechari alternative. Actually, 2 alternatives. So I hope this helps you out for meditation. It's this recipe, and when you start putting these things together, it gets more and more profound. And that's what we want. We want something very deep and very profound. We want to fit all the pieces together so that the body and mind can sink down easily into a deep meditative state, and you get all the benefits from that. Thanks for sticking around. If you like this video, hit that bell down there so I can see you guys next time.